Hello, this is Maxwell with Zgambit, and today I'm giving you the highlights of the Zambia vs Botswana game in the COSAFA Cup quarterfinals, which took place today in South Africa. So today's game was a tough game for Zambia and Botswana as well, but more for Zambia because we did not have most of our players. And as you know, Patson Daka went back, Mwepu went back. We have a number of key players, Fashion Sakala, that went back. So we didn't have the full team, but this is the home team that went to play the COSAFA Cup. And they played quite well, even though it was a tough game and we were almost under attack most of the times. As you can see here, we scored the first goal though, with the morale. As you know, Zambia, we always do that every time, and we opened it in the 9th minute. We scored the first goal and continued in that way. So just as usual, before I continue, I would like to tell you that the reason why I'm doing this without the sound is to avoid copyright reasons with YouTube, and also to give you the highlights so that you can have the chance to watch the game while also appreciating the play of Zambia, as it is. So yeah, we scored the first goal and it was all rainbow for us, and we kept on pushing because we were hungry for more goals. We wanted to score the second goal, but we couldn't get the second goal. So this is a game that actually ended in penalties because we couldn't decide it in the 90 minutes. We tried our best. We attacked so many, as you can see so far. As you can see the highlights so far, Zambia was attacking more than Botswana, because we are used to the COSAFA Cup. Look at all the highlights. It's not because we're cutting maybe the Zambian highlights, but it's because these were the dangerous moments. And mostly, if you see the statistics, Zambia was actually getting more of the coverage than Botswana was. So if not for the mistake that we made with the penalty and everything, we would, with the mistake that we made, actually, we would have actually won it in the 90 minutes. But either way, the good part is that we actually won it in the 90 minutes and we're qualifying to play the semi-finals. We are already qualified for us. So the other teams are still playing and waiting to see who are going to meet and who's going to qualify. So we played very, very good. We tried our best. This is Zambia's team B, I would say, not the full team as it is, but we played like this is a full team. So they tried their best. But the best wasn't good enough, and that is for this team, and that's Botswana. So Zambia without our main people also is a good team. As you can see here, it's a good team because they are coordinated. They know what they want. They all want to win, but we have usually one problem, and this is a problem of relaxing once we get a goal. And this is a problem that has been there even before. It's not the first time that Zambia is having this problem of relaxing once they get the ball, And I hope that we should find a way in which we can emancipate ourselves from playing such kind of a game where we relax once we get a goal. Because once we get a goal, we actually feel as though we've won it. We start delaying. We start, all those delay tactics. And once they score us back, we now start panicking because there's not much time, because we wasted most of the time trying to defend and trying to play the delay game, which is not supposed to be the case for a team like Zambia, which should be a strong team compared to most of these teams. I would like to get one example from the Chipolopolo, the female team, how they play their game. They actually, once they score a goal, they become hungry for more goals. But our male team just usually relaxes once they score a goal and they become safe. But they tried as well. They tried. Our counter attack wasn't that good, but we tried our best. We did our best compared to Botswana. We actually outpowered them and outplayed them, because if you look at Zambia's experience in the COSAFA Cup, we've had too much experience in the COSAFA Cup than most of these teams. If you look at 2013, we won the COSAFA Cup in 2013, and back in the years, if you look at back in the years, you go back, we had been contesting and we had been winning the COSAFA Cup. So this cup is kind of our cup, and we are not going to lose it here. So I think we are going to qualify, and probably we could win it, even though the host is South Africa and they stand a high chance, of being at home. We could still win it. I'm very much hopeful about that. Yeah, so these are the highlights of the 90 minutes that I'll give you. Then afterwards, I'll give you the penalty shootouts as it was, because the penalty shootouts was quite a little bit long, so we had to go through the penalty shootouts, because the penalty shootouts was the most interesting part of the game. As much as the other part of the game was interesting, the penalty shootout was more interesting, and that is why we concentrated most of the time to talk about the penalty shootouts. So if you do not like to watch the first part of the highlights, you could actually just skip to somewhere around 6 minutes. There you are going to get the penalty shootouts, and you'll be able to watch the penalty shootouts. So Botswana became ambitious and they actually scored in a goal here. As you can see, now it became 1-1. Now we opened our eyes. Once we were 1-1, we opened our eyes, and this is what happens every time. When we are leading as Zambia, we tend to relax. We start to think as though we have already won the game, and we start delaying. We start all those tactics that actually, put us into a disadvantage. And later on, when we are scored, we start to cry foul, and we start to panic because there's not much time left, as we scored most of the time while wasting time. So this is a typical Zambia. It ended in 90 minutes, and they tried to check whether it was an offside, which wasn't an offside because that is how it is. The player was trying to clear it, it went back, and that's how we scored. We got scored, and in 90 minutes, we were still 1-1. I was hoping that probably we could have actually gotten maybe a second goal, maybe third goal, because looking at the chances that we got, we had a lot of chances that we missed here. And we could have easily capitalized on one of the chances and maybe made it into a goal to have maybe 2 goals, at least 2 or 3 would have been possible in here. But one thing we lack as a country is a finisher. We lack finishers. So it went directly to penalties, and as you can see, the first penalty was taken by Botswana, and they scored. Penalties, the time of penalties is the time which is actually very, 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 very difficult, because you don't know where it's going to go. Penalties are not like a game. In a game, a player could be as very good, but in penalty kickouts, you never know who is going to miss, who is going to score. Even the best of players do miss when it comes to penalty shootouts. So this was a time for a Zambian player to actually hit, and he went for it. He went for the goal, and definitely this is what happened as we went to hit. As you can see here, he's waiting for it and trying to be composed and all that. As Zambia, we own it. So most of the penalties is about confidence, and look at how confident he was, and couldn't even hit that much, and it was a goal. So we owned it when it comes to penalties. Even though we had made mistakes as the game was starting, when it came to penalty shootouts, we actually decided to step up and say we own it, because we are Zambia and no one beats us in such kind of tournaments. There are only few teams that usually beat us when it comes to the COSAFA Cup, because we've been qualifying to this cup in many times in a long time, And I'll let you watch as I speak. I'll continue speaking throughout it to avoid it just being the audio, the video without sound. So I'll continue giving some commentary, and you're going to see how it ended, as you already know how it ended if you watch the game. And if you did not watch the game, you will know that it was a wonderful game here, and I would not like to spoil it for you. If you didn't watch the game, this is your chance to watch the game. You've seen in the comment section, and you've also seen in the description itself who won the game. So either way, we won the game, that's for sure. We won the game, so it's already spoiled for you. There you go. We won the game, but it was a tough call. It was a really, really tough call. Every player was on the edge. As they were trying to play every penalty kick out, they were on the edge, hoping, not knowing whether they will score, whether they will miss it. Even everyone who was watching as well was on the edge, not knowing whether they would score it, they would win it, or maybe they would lose it for Zambia, So it was an interesting penalty shootout. And looking at most of our players, these players, if they could coordinate as they play today, they could coordinate in general, we could go very, very far. Because the only thing, like I said, that is lacking in these is a finisher. And we have finishers like Patson Daka, we've got Fashion Sakala. These guys are finishers, good finishers. At least we would give them that juice as Zambians. They're good Zambian finishers. But the problem is that these people do not train with the rest of the team. They only come maybe a week or so before a game is played. And with that time, it is very hard for them to integrate with the rest of the team. So they do not have that chemistry. They lack that chemistry to play with the rest of the team, because they do not actually coordinate with the rest of the team, if you know what I mean. So could you imagine if Patson Daka and the rest could have maybe a month to train with the rest of the team, or 2 months to train with the rest of the team before they went to a tournament that could decide their fate? So this guy missed a penalty. He missed his first penalty, and this is what gave us chance. You see, it gave us chance because Botswana now have missed, and now we are leading. If we score, then we would be controlling the game. That's the problem with being the first taker as a country. And also the problem of being the second taker is that if the first taker scores, the pressure is drawn back to you. So the penalty shootouts are always about dropping the ball and dropping the pressure to the other one, transferring the pressure. Once you give pressure, you receive pressure, you give pressure. So now the pressure was on Botswana at the moment because Zambia had scored and we were leading now. So the pressure was all now mounted on Botswana. If Zambia had scored every goal at this moment, then definitely we were headed for a win. So let's watch and see, and you see what happened. Zambia scores and we were leading now 3. If Botswana missed this one, then they would be so much in trouble in that yeah, I like that celebration. That's a Zambian way of celebrating, you know. When you are winning, there's always that celebration. Apart from let's see, yeah. So that's a recap of this the goal that was scored. And now the fourth player, the fourth penalty taker, is coming from Botswana, making his kick. And let's see if he was able to score or not. So most of you have watched the game already. I've watched it already, but I'm just being dramatic, not to add some effects to know for you to enjoy the game as we are watching together. Huh? So yeah, the keeper was confident, hoping he could catch the ball, and because he had already caught the first one, so he was very confident that even this one he would catch this one. But alas, it was a goal. And the player said, yeah, I know, now you can see me, now you see me, you can't see me, it's John Cena, you can't see me, you know. That's the kind of thing that Kennedy Mwene actually did to Didier Drogba. I remember in 2012 when we won the glorious Africa Cup in 2012, Didier Drogba actually had beef with Kennedy Mwene, and it ended up to be a very interesting match take. If you watched it, if you watched that game, because that game is a memorable game which every Zambian should watch. If you've not watched it, you could just search on YouTube, you would find the penalty shootouts, you find the game itself, and it's a game that you would have to go back to every once in a while to watch as a Zambian, because you know it gives that wonderful feeling as a Zambian. So Zambia takes the fourth kick, and the thrills are going on. If they'll miss and they'll score, yes, they scored. So Zambia was composed, as you can see, and we were actually on fire. Every player was calm, composed, and that is what really matters in a game. When it comes to a game, it's usually about composure. If the team players are composed, the game will be yours. You would win the game if the team players are composed, which is what happened here. So now what is remaining is that at this moment the pressure was too much for Botswana. Is that if they miss this penalty, the game is over automatically. Zambia would not even need to play the last penalty. If they score this penalty and Zambia score the next penalty, it's still over. So they were in a tight position at the moment. You would call it a conundrum, a tight spot. So they scored this one, and now if Zambia scores this last one, it's a done deal. If Zambia scores this last penalty, then it's a done deal. There's nothing more to play for, and Zambia wins it. So this is how we actually went for the COSAFA. We went for it in style. Penalty shootouts, the typical Zambian type, instead of just winning it directly. So the penalties were interesting, and see the final penalty that sealed the whole game for Zambia and took us way into the semi-final, which we are going to play probably next week as you go with it. So let us look at it together before we actually end this broadcast and this commentary. So this was the final kick, and there usually is much pressure on the final kicker. So let us watch together as he actually hits the ball and makes history for Zambia in the COSAFA Cup just once more again this year. He actually finishes it for Zambia, and there you go, celebration for Zambia. We have won it. And you know, that's how it was. So thank you very much for watching, and a wonderful day. That was a commentary for you. Bye bye.